You know, a number of years ago, we went up to Jamestown, Wisconsin. And I was kind of fascinated with all of the bridges. I assume that that's a Northwestern Railroad above it. But maybe you can help us with this, Dave.
I have not been to Jamestown.
No kidding. Apparently no one here but me.
Yeah.
So where is Jamestown?
Why did I put Jamestown on there? That's not the right, I guess, you know, we're in
It is a
Wisconsin.
bridge. You got the bridge part right, Ron. So
Yeah.
you know, you're batting 500.
Right.
Sorry about that. You know where they build, the General Motors had their plant up there?
Janesville.
Just,
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
just a small problem, right?
It's just a few letters different.
So both the Northwestern and the Milwaukee Road went to Janesville.
Yeah.
And I have been under that bridge, but you know, almost all the active track there, the UP still has a slight presence there, but everything else is Wisconsin and Southern. I think that is a Northwestern bridge, but I would want to revisit my map.
So anyway, this is just the Jamesville bridges. That's all this little piece is. So that's a different one. It was quite nice that day we were up there. So. I'm not sure what river this is, but
It's the Brock River.
from a different angle. Somebody want to build one of those type? I've never seen that type of bridge offered. So we got two bridges. There's a girder bridge in the background. So my guess is one's Northwestern, one's Milwaukee.
Not necessarily.
But that one's kind of interesting.
We had a bridge on our layout, the original club layout in Valpo that we nicknamed Fallen Brass.
So we got a automobile covered bridge under a railroad bridge.
Protecting because of the open upper.
Well, I wished I had got a better picture to see what's under the bridge. Which I didn't bother to take, of course.
That might be a walking trail.
says-
Maybe it is, maybe it is.
It says it's the Rock Trail Bikeway.
Yeah.
So it would, in Wisconsin, it would be bicycles and drunk drivers.
Now, if I see this correctly, there's actually an abutment behind this bridge, which was a stone abutment.
Like limestone or something.
For brick faced.
Well, is it brick? It looks like stone to me,
Cut stone, I guess.
but there's no bridge on the other abutment, is there?
No,
That could have been the abutment for a parallel former bridge while they built the new one.
Well, maybe the original line.
that's what I would guess.
To me, what's fascinating, under the main girder there's no roller bearing for expansion, contraction of that bridge as it slides and expands in length. You can see some solid stone there. There's no means for that bridge to expand and contract.
Well,
Unless there's a sliding plate there that we can't see.
I think it's
Yeah.
on a plate.
See where my cursor is?
You think there's a plate there?
I don't know. It's a
Yep.
question.
There's certainly a gap between the bottom of the girder and the
Stone.
concrete.
Yeah,
Concrete.
And notice the abutment goes back quite a ways for movement.
Yeah, well, yeah, and there's a girder bridge above it even. It's a good detail bridge if you want to build something like that with a walkway and all. No, there's no handrail or anything on that.
how about applying Archer rivets to the girder bridge?
A real project, right?
Yes,
Because this is a pretty good sized bridge. That's the end of all of that. That's the only one I have of that.
You didn't get the bridge at Turtle Creek, the multi-arch, stone arch bridge? That's
I'm in
That's,
Janesville.
in Janesville.
No, I didn't.
But you can certainly go to Jamestown if you want. I mean, I don't think Wisconsin might be the only state that doesn't have a Jamestown.
Right.
Let me find this next little piece. I don't have much tonight, so this will be quick tonight.
That's well, you're experimenting with proto freelancing.
We don't have a lot of people on here, so consequently, there are not a lot of,
Well, if I would have advertised that we were going to show the bridges of Jamestown, Wisconsin, we might have had more takers.
very good. I think I'll just leave that on there then.
Yeah.
All right, here's my
You
next.
might put a question mark after it though.
Yeah. Who here's been to Jamestown?
Isn't that a movie with Meryl Streep? Bridges
Right.
in Jamestown?
The bridges of Jamestown County.
All right. I don't think many of you have ever been in Howell, Michigan.
Nope, not me.
That depends. What's its real name?
Howell,
Oh, okay.
That's just up the road from me, and that is one of the scenes that's modeled on Brooke and Jay Quellman's layout and on the layout here at Fox Run.
Deal, you can help me with this then. So Dave, you brought out a whole bunch of pictures of communication lines, so I take pictures of those too. So here's a few different ones, and you notice this one in the middle down here, the pole had cracked, so they put a I don't know what that, I think that's a piece of steel in there,
Wise.
hold it together.
Yeah.
And the other odd thing is they got steps that low. Normally the steps are up so that people can't get on them. very
Exactly.
easy.
So the young people can't climb on them.
Yeah,
Yep.
They
I
took
was-
one look at the wood on that pole, they wouldn't climb it anyway, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, but
surprised to
that's-
see. that
That's
many,
why we have mortality rates in those
Yeah.
groups.
That's a lot of open wire up there. This was taken about maybe 5 years ago. And through the middle of town, the railroad, the old Ann Arbor goes in an area that they built with, it's walled on both sides.
Quite a cut.
Kind of different. You don't normally see it cut like that. Looks like on the left side, we see a metal barrier. On the right is concrete.
I think they're the same. Notice they both have ripples on them. See the seams on both sides?
Well, would you think that that's concrete with these uprights in here?
That's,
The little fence on top?
they have fences on both sides.
Yeah,
They're the
that's true. This picture, I think these are two different areas. On this picture, the, what looks like
Oh.
steel is on the right side. In this picture, it looks like the steel is on the left side. Now, here's what I could have done is I might have went across the bridge and took this picture back the other direction. You notice the three bridges here?
That looks like a height restriction. They look pretty low.
There's one bridge here, one bridge there, and another one down here.
Yeah.
I got a feeling, and we drove, well, we're on a bridge, I think. Well, no, I'm down at track level. I got a feeling we drove around and came across this back bridge and took a picture backwards.
That would make sense, yeah.
See, there's a little red item here, and that kind of matches up with this other red item over here.
Yeah, it looks like both sides are corrugated steel to me.
Yep, I think so too.
The one on the left has a cap on it though, like a channel. And the other one, I don't see a cap.
Yeah,
Where-
it looks about the same to me.
Me too.
Well, I see
Look-
vertical, oops, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I see vertical pieces on this. I don't see them over here.
Well,
Yes,
different
they're
lighting.
there. They're there.
They're
Look-
there.
Look on the lower right. There you can see the marks going up and down. They're there, matching.
Yeah, Ron, we're looking on bigger screens than you are maybe, so we see a little more detail.
The one on the right looks like it's almost concrete blocks.
No,
No,
If you back up for one or two, you can see that steel channel on, yeah, like the left view here, you can definitely see the channel on top.
I think it's just a lighting effect. I think it's steel on both.
yep, I agree.
I would
Next
say-
time I'm
I
over
would
there,
s-
I'll have to find out.
I would say it's W shapes that were driven in pile driver,
Yeah, sheet piling, yeah,
sheet piling that was capped off.
right. Yeah,
There's their depot, which is a small museum.
Matter.
They got a little plaque there on the, telling about the Ann Arbor coming through. And Ann Arbor
little,
line, I think is the same one that goes up to, where the steam engine is located at, help me out, Neil. Where's the big steam engine located north of Howell?
Owasso?
Thank you. I think this is the same line.
Oh. That's a very interesting little circular window on the end of that depot.
Up here at the top.
Yeah,
There's a lot of gingerbread here to to model. Now, I don't know why I think that's a Santa Fe caboose. I think there was a sign that said that. But why there would be a Santa Fe caboose there, I have no idea. So again, it could be Janesville.
Not a Santa Fe caboose.
I'm done.
Very good. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to show us tonight?
Take
All right.
25 seconds and I will show you the site of the General Motors plant west of New Carlisle.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
God.
Bob, are you going down to Collinsville?
No, not gonna make it this year.
Oh, my. You think you'll go to Naperville?
I'm kind of planning on that, yeah.
I thought I might not go to that. I don't know.
Why not?
Well, it's getting difficult to drive in Chicago.
Yeah, that's always been difficult.
Hmm. I'm not sure I can recognize where that's at.
Can't you go around Chicago, Ron? Kind of around the
I can
north,
go, yeah, I can go around Chicago.
so
I
you
go
can
down
get
to
to Naperville,
Pinto.
because it's at the old Naperville site, basically,
Yeah.
off of 80.
When I take, go to Iowa, I go down to Peatone and go west down to Peatone. Anyway, okay, there's State Road 2.
Yep,
Hmm. It doesn't really show me where that's at.
I'm gonna check a Google map here while we're talking and I'll tell you a little more. It turns out from 6 to 7 tonight, they had a live Facebook presentation by the county on this subject.
No
According
kidding.
to the article I just found that I swiped the picture from. I'll tell you what, why don't we let somebody else chat about something else and I'll see what I can find on the map and tell you.
Do you know what JV battery plant means? What does JV mean?
Joint venture.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Okay, I find this is interesting because down in Anderson, Indiana, anybody ever been down there?
Many times.
Okay, Anderson, of course, was a huge automotive parts manufacturing area. And they basically, all of them pulled out, including Delco. So
Right.
it's interesting that they built another, or going to build another plant, basically 150 miles north of it, where they had one. It pretty much, when they left Anderson, it pretty much left that town decimated.
You know, Neil, if this thing is on State Road 2, there will not be a railroad there.
Well, I'm thinking the right side of this lot may be a railroad. I will check the other map here.
There's no east, there's no north-south railroad.
No, they had plans for one developing this site. They've been working on this site for 5 years to attract somebody.
Well, they're gonna have to build something then.
You know, it may already be built. I'll take a
No.
look.
I'm just down there. There's no new railroads down there.
Okay. Well, I'll see what I can find on the map and I'll update after I find something. So somebody else can do something meanwhile.
Yeah, anybody else have anything they want to show us?
Not tonight.
All right. Well, it's a quick night then, unless Neil comes up with his map quickly.
But if you're talking a railroad being built, here in the Twin Cities, there are millions and millions over budget on the light rail projects up here. Just horrible. So, getting the proper funding and budgets today for new builds is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear how they're performing against the budget on the South Shore Double Track project. They're certainly going at it with gusto.
Yeah, that one's coming right along, isn't it? Are they running on a new track yet?
Not that I know of.
And here, in our area, the CP is just doing monster work continually. Ever since they got the KC, that's all they're doing is working on the lines on the Twin Cities going north and south. They've been putting all new ties and high speed, crossings everywhere. So usually every weekend they're out there working someplace, doing some work.
I have a friend that lives on the Kansas City Southern, and they're doing the same thing there. They're rebuilding the track.
They are, so it's not
He
just
lives in
happening
Oak-
up here.
He lives in Oklahoma.
And And they're talking about increased traffic is gonna be, I don't know how many trains a day, they're estimating 10 plus.
He said that be up and, well, in the last month or so, when it Canadian Pacific really took over, they had never saw any automobile trains and stuff, and now they have seen them. It was mainly grain and coal before.
Well, you see a lot of containers trains too. I would think they're seeing container trains.
Yeah,
Here,
he
here
was
we
now.
see just, you know, the trains are miles long. And a lot of the small towns complaining because of the length of the trains nowadays.
How about that place in Iowa that they go right down the main street?
We do that in Warsaw, Indiana.
Well, the Warsaw is not on Main Street. It's one block off,
Right.
half a block. But I understand the problem in the town there in Iowa is that they're right next to the river. The town is, and it's up next to a bluff, so they don't have a lot of room to make big changes. They would have to literally, they'd have to take over a bunch of the west side of the town in order to move the railroad out of Main Street.
What town are you talking about, Ron, if I may ask?
Well, it's north of Davenport. And it's south of Dubuque.
Clinton?
No, it's a little town, very small
Okay.
town.
Oh, it's got that scenic overlook way up high above the town. Is that the one you're talking about, right on the river?
I think so. I've seen pictures of the,
Prairie du Chien?
no, much
No,
smaller
it's-
town.
This is near the Palisades overview
that's-
in Iowa.
Lansing.
Lloyd knows where it's at, but we're not hearing him.
I've been there, I've seen the train, but I don't know what the name of the town is. It's southeastern Iowa.
Southeastern.
Guess I could get a map up, maybe.
It'd be too easy.
Yeah,
I'll attempt to get a map.
we're all doing our geography. I just drove from Clinton down into Bettendorf and Davenport. Hadn't been that way in a while, and there isn't much room between the river and the, I think it's Burlington Northern tracks that are there.
Well, it's the
All
old,
right.
old
Can
Milwaukee.
you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
All right, you're thinking of Bellevue
That's it.
on the Milwaukee,
Okay.
ex-Milwaukee.
I think Bellevue is where they had some of their narrow gauge traffic or
Right.
trackage.
From Bellevue west to Cascade.
You know, I see Ken Thompson is on, his screen is on, but he's not here. He worked the UP in Janesville. He would have known those bridges.
Oh, yeah.
He would not have known about Jamestown, would he?
No, he would have been as befuddled as the rest of us.
If anybody would have, it would have been Ken.
Ron, the big bridge that you showed pictures of is the Milwaukee Bridge.
Okay, all right.
That was the big steel complex,
The big,
the steel
Oh.
one?
Yeah, the big steel one.
The big steel bridge that you show
Okay,
several shots of.
that was a Milwaukee. Okay.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
When we were
What
up
did
there
you
that
say?
day, they were loading cars into the auto racks. I'll tell you, that's an experience watching those guys drive those cars up there just as fast as they can put them in, and then they jump on their other car and run back to the place to get some more cars.
I worked at Fairbanks Morris in Beloit in 54 and would go up to Janesville, and Milwaukee was still steam. At that point in the Janesville plant, they were loading automobiles into 40-foot double-door boxcars.
Lloyd, is that bridge?
Were
the-
those Evans loaders at that time?
General Motors.
How about, no, I
Chevrolet
mean,
plant.
Evans, were they Evans loaders in the boxcars?
Yes,
Where they had one above the other, they'd lift one up? Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Lloyd, is that Milwaukee line the one that went west to Monroe?
not across that bridge. That bridge, the Milwaukee came directly into Janesville. The line that went to Monroe was the branch line west of Janesville. It went through Monroe, Broadhead, etc., Gratiot, up to Mineral Point.
Okay. Thank you.
And that line, I believe, is still operating to Monroe.
Yep.
Yes,
Hey, Neil,
Yeah,
the article said that that plant is at Larison and 2, which,
right.
which is about 2.25 miles from the NS line, south of it.
Right, I just have it on the map here now, and it's just southwest of the IN Tech plant.
Yeah, it's
It
south of,
already has about an 8-track yard serving it, and tracks coming off the Norfolk Southern heading south. They could easily extend those down just a little bit and they'd be right to the property.
If they can afford it after all their accidents.
I gotta see that map. I know there's no tracks heading be south of that plant. I've driven that road many times. In fact,
No,
I
no,
drove
no,
it last
the
week.
tracks come in from the north and they turn, there's some parallel to the Norfolk Southern, but there's a track that goes straight south. Doesn't come out of the plant property, but it could be extended or have one parallel to it that would go down to the battery plant without any trouble whatsoever.
Well, if it doesn't go out of the plant, that's why you don't see it.
Right, you don't see it yet, but it'll, they've got, what, 2.5 years to build the battery plant, and the
Oh, yeah.
rail sidings will be one of the last things, maybe.
Well, the Norfolk Southern will like the extra traffic there.
All right, gentlemen, I think we'll call it a night.
Yeah.
And appreciate Ron, you stepping into the void there, and also Neil, bringing up the interesting news for New Carlisle. We are looking for a presenter for next week, so if you'd like to present, just let me know and we'll get you on the schedule. I don't think I have anybody on. So anyway, that's it. Have a good evening and we'll see you next week.
You guys.
Everybody.
Good to see you guys.